Hello runners, my name is Arvind Kandhaswamy. I'm going to be the host for this week's Walk with the Coach. I've been with the RHWB this is my third season. I started with season 5, I did my half marathon. And then season 6 I did 10K. There were lots of ups and downs, and then I used to be also ran. But now I'm catching up. I'm trying to understand what is working, what's not working, and trying to learn. I'm getting better at it. So I'm truly enjoying this season 3. Third season for me, but it's like a season 7. Now this is season 7, week 8. Now, without further ado, I want to bring our host.
Hey,
our
Arvind.
guest. Yes, yes.
I know, right? Host,
Yes.
guest.
It's all the same. Yeah.
It's going to be a fun discussion today, guys. So, Arvind, thank you for hosting this week's Walk with the Coach. And guys, we are back in our favorite joint, which is, let me hold it for you for some time. We are, for the joint, which is our Metuchen Trail. And, today's weather is 32 degrees, which is 0 degrees. But we guys have gotten so used to negative. I think today feels like summer. What do you think?
Summer, exactly. Yeah, it's like a spring weather. It's beautiful. There's no wind. It's really beautiful. Yeah, there are people walking in the streets.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
Think about it. He's not even wearing a headgear. Huh?
Yes.
And it is 0 degrees. It's not like, it's actually supposed to be cold.
Yeah.
But that's what it says, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the mental benchmark. We will talk about that in running as well.
Yeah.
It's about what your body can get used to. And mind, I guess.
Yes, yes.
So thanks, Arvind, again. But before we even get started on the usual Walk with the Coach discussions, see, guys, last time I got Anjali for the discussion. She was CFO of our newly minted management team. And this time, I'm changing the roles for a couple of minutes at least. I'm going to be the host, and Arvind is going to be our guest because he is the newly minted CTO of Runners High. And let me tell you, the difference he has made, I mean, that's a separate podcast I have to do. But at least I'm so happy to welcome you to your new role.
Thank you. Yes, thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, I had to talk about how this all started, right?
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
But before that,
Yes.
tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what do you do from work-wise?
Yeah, work-wise, so I've been getting used to this thing. I've been in this country for almost like 25 years, I would say. I'm into data and analytics. I work for a large company. I would rather not say which company it is. A lot of people hate that company, so I would rather not say that. But it's like a large company. It's like a defense and
It's a high-tech company.
High-tech company, yes.
Yeah.
Primarily, I'm in data science and analytics. That's what my bread and butter. I've been doing this for almost 25 years.
20 years now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
tell about how this all started. Why do I think it's an interesting story?
It is an interesting story. Yeah. So
Yeah, we can keep it in the front so that
Yeah. So in season 5, our great Bala, he posted a voice message about a treadmill.
Yeah.
It was like a buying guide. I was like so much in detail in it. It's like how much you should expect to spend, and what sort of treadmills are in the market, and what should be. The pros and cons of using treadmill, and there's so many things. He went in so much detail, but even in a 10-15 minute message. There was so much stuff in it. So I listened to it. It was interesting. Like a couple of months later, I was in the market looking for a treadmill.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking for the message. I couldn't find it. I've spent about an hour. I thought it was a video message. And then I went and looked into every video message all over again. I couldn't find it. So one day I met Bala and told him, Bala, we really need a website.
Yes.
This is like, every message gets lost. These are all like really good content.
Yeah.
You can go back and look. So this was the first, the genesis of, what we are trying to do today.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it's so true, right?
Yeah.
Our problem was that
Yeah.
we have so much content, good content.
Yeah.
I hope I can put in my modesty aside, good content we develop.
Yes.
And it was okay till we were about 100 people max, runners.
Yeah.
Now when we have approaching 400 runners.
Yeah.
The content is great. Not only us runners share a lot of content as well.
Yes.
And we don't know how to access them. And he told me that is a problem.
Yeah.
And then he said, how are you managing all the admissions? How are you managing all the things? Because we take like $5, $10 from different places for different things. How are you managing it? I said, no, it is a pain. Madhvi and Renu are the ones who are doing it, but clearly they are reaching their sort of end point. And that's when he said, hey, listen, when you want to do something, I'm here. Let's do something. And let me talk about that for, maybe we'll do it a little bit now and then we can talk more.
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce the tech team you have, and how have you been working till now?
Yeah, so we started talking about this website, and then we got amazing volunteers like Amanpreet and Surain. They stepped up and they said, you know what, we want to help you and all that. And
They came by themselves.
They came by themselves, yeah. And of course we have Sridhar, he's shepherding us, and
Assistant coach.
Yeah, assistant coach. He's keeping us focused, trying to help us prioritize things and all that. It's funny the way that we work together. It's like one time I mentioned this is like something like on-site, onshore, offshore operation. Because we don't get to work at the same time.
Yep.
Ramanpreet, for example, she will try to get something done during lunchtime. I have a full day job. So once I get into the meetings, workshop and all that, I don't have time to do it.
Yep.
And Bala wakes up around 10 o'clock in the morning. That's when he starts pushing content. So, and Surain also same thing, he always has some challenges. So it's been like amazing journey. We try to do with whatever limited time we could find.
Yeah.
We try to put all this thing. And he mentioned about content, right? This is Chief Content Officer. He's a CCO. I mean, the kind of content he's been pushing. In fact, the platform started complaining. There's a limit of 100 pages that you can create. I'm not kidding. It's actually happened. And I found a workaround for that 100 pages limitation, and he implemented that himself. It's anyway, it's an amazing team.
I'm like learning so much, guys. I always wanted to know how to build a website. And there is a mission here, there is a reason why we are doing it, and when you have a reason for doing it and you have amazing set of people, these are volunteers, they're coming by themselves, that means they're passionate.
Yes.
Right? So that is check marked already, and when you're passionate and passionate set of people come together, magic can happen, and I think that's what is happening. On that part,
yes.
What are some of the things that will hit the deck this week and maybe next week? I think there's some interesting thing coming along, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. There are a couple of things that we are planning to release this week, this today. One is the podcast audio version. All the great stuff that he's been producing. I know he doesn't like it. He's going to talk about it, but but we have an audio version so that you could listen to it on podcasts, a platform like Google, Apple, and Spotify. This way, you could listen to it when you're running, when you're driving, when you're cooking, and so on.
So we have an RHWB channel in all this?
Yes.
So you just have to go and subscribe there, and that's it. You get it like a regular podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a plan. Yes.
Wow. So if you want, you can get video as well. But those of you who do not have the time to open the YouTube or some other issues, they can always listen to a podcast.
That is correct. We highly recommend. I highly recommend. Watch the YouTube channel if you get a chance, because that's the whole point about this content, this podcast.
Yep.
Especially this one, because I'm in this, so
yeah.
just with you. So that's one update.
That's so interesting, huh? The first time you're going to release a podcast, the CTO is there. And by the way, guys, you got to know, he did this for himself first and then for the rest.
Yeah, I'm selfish, I'm telling you. I'm the user first and then only. Yes. So yeah, that's one update.
Wonderful.
And we are also cleaned up a little bit. We're trying to organize all thanks to Bala, and we are releasing the recipe section is kind of reorganized right
Reorganized recipe section, yep.
And also the gears section has been reorganized.
Yep.
So those are the updates that are coming
this week.
This week.
Okay. And what about next week?
Next week is a T-shirt.
So it's a big one. Next week is a big one.
It's huge. Yeah, it's a big deal. Remember back the previous season, you had to send it. WhatsApp, you have a Google survey form, and then you have to send the money separately. You don't have to worry all about that.
One second, Arvind. So guys, I know there are a lot of 200 newcomers are there. So every season we release season T-shirts. Okay, it's a very well sought out thing, because the logo that we have and the tagline that we have, these gets embossed onto a T-shirt, and we try to make it as sort of cheap as possible. That means we source it from India, we bring it all together into one box and say Madhvi's house, and then there is this operations team gets into gear just for reducing costs. They kind of segregate the t-shirts and give it. And these t-shirts are something that we all are very proud of because it represents our journey, especially for the newcomers. So what Arvind is talking about is till now it is all manual. We were in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
And what does the new like a tech age looks like in the same thing next week?
So you can just go online, just place an order. You can for Edison folks or New Jersey folks, they can come and pick it
just
up.
like buying an Amazon.
Buying from Amazon, yes, exactly. Or you could pay for shipping and it gets shipped to your door.
Look at that, guys.
So yeah.
So it's all on the website?
It's all on the website, yes.
Oh, so you just go to website,
Yes.
just choose your size.
No, watch it.
You choose your size.
Yeah.
And just pay for choose a size and the quantity.
Yes.
If you can buy it for your entire family, so you can choose different sizes, different quantity.
Yeah.
Swipe your credit card, as in put your credit card in.
Yeah.
Shipping gets automatically added.
Yes.
Boom, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
And it also includes the medal as well.
Yes.
T-shirts and medal, guys.
T-shirts and medals, yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, thank you, Arvind.
This is becoming a podcast about the website now.
No, but this is important. Last time we did it with CFO, and look at the amount of stuff that's coming out. So in summary, guys, let's all thank the tech team led by Arvind and Ramanpreet, Suren, and our AC Sridhar. They have been relentless. The most beauty about this team is nothing is not possible. Everything is possible, but what they do is they do it at lightning speed, like what Sridhar says. They do it, execute at the speed of thought. You have an idea right now, tomorrow it's already there in the website. It's just brilliant. So two asks I have for you. One, send huge thank you to our volunteer tech team for making our life easier, cooler, all kinds of good stuff.
Yes.
And two, if you have any good tech ideas,
Yes.
send us your way, guys. And I think I have a third ask also. If you are having a tech frame of mind and you want to volunteer and give your sort of 2 cents, please ping Arvind. We always would love to have more volunteers.
Yes, please.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And we can go from there. So with that, let's get back to the usual thing.
Yes.
I'll hand over the reins of being the host back to Arvind. Here you go, Arvind.
All right. Okay, Bala. Now back to the original program. We've been talking about this conversational pace for a while.
Yeah.
I hope the new runners, they're getting the hang of it. Now, we started seeing the strides for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So would you mind explaining, even as I mentioned, even I'm trying to learn all these techniques, and I would appreciate if you could talk to us
Sure,
why
sure,
we
sure,
need it and what does it bring.
Sure. No, strides. Let's again, because it's an audio podcast and now it's going to be available in Spotify. So I'm going to start off from as if you don't even know what is stride, so that even a regular user. By the way, will that be available for anybody who signs up for RHWB?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a huge. That's a big difference.
That is. It is. Yes. Sorry.
Why don't you keep it on the front so that instead of keeping it on the side, come to the yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So guys, first is what is strides. Strides is a type of training where we are asking you to run for a specific time or distance at a much faster pace. We call it around the 10K pace. Like if you have to run a 10K, at what speed you will run. That's what we're talking about. And then come back to a normal, conversational pace, running or walking. Mm-hmm. That's really what a stride run is. Yeah. It can be time, it can be the speed. Okay. Or distance, I mean. Mm-hmm. So essentially what happens in a stride is your heart rate and speed goes up for some time and comes back for some time. So it's like up and down, up and down. Mm-hmm. And we do it for like a couple of cycles. Mm-hmm. And that's what is called as a stride run. Mm-hmm. If you think about a comparison to conversational pace, what is conversational pace? Yeah. Conversational pace is literally nothing. You're constantly running at a similar pace where you are feeling, very comfortable with the pace. That's conversational pace. So it's literally the opposite of stride, the opposite of conversational pace. Yeah. So 2 things that we are trying to shoot for in strides, and I'll keep it short. Yeah. One, you've heard of in engineering. You've heard of this thing called fatigue strength. Have you heard about it? Fatigue strength. It's a mechanical engineering concept. Yeah. Really what it is, let's say I give you a copper wire, okay? And I ask you to sort of break it into 2. Mm-hmm. If you don't have any other tools with you, how do you break a copper wire? Like if I give it to you like just a copper wire like that, and just break it into, how would you do that naturally?
Trying to break it.
How do you do it? How do you break it? Do you pull it apart? do this up, down, right?
Yes.
Right?
L4
Because you can pull it apart.
Yes.
You have to go up like this. That's how you break the copper wire.
Yes.
In engineering, what you're trying to do is called as fatigue fracture. That means continuous reversal of stress. Compression, expansion, compression, expansion. When you do that, the material breaks far ahead or far before just pulling it apart. So that is the power of fatigue.
Yeah.
Fatigue is a material subjected to reversal stress. That's what is an engineering explanation of fatigue. So the same concept is applied to our heart.
Okay.
We are trying to develop what is called as a fatigue strength. That means continuous up, down, up, down, up, down. When you do it, you are essentially all the muscles, right from your heart to all the muscles, are given the same kind of stresses.
So conditioning,
Conditioning for so that the failure cannot happen because you're conditioning for a fatigue strength. That's really what we are trying to do in strides.
Yeah.
So that means when you're doing strides, you have to go up and down. If you don't go up and down, then it's not a stride. So some people, some runners, just to impress me, when I ask you to do strides, they'll go at like very fast and then fast. Very fast and fast, as if that's something highly impressive. But the idea of strides itself is very fast and slow.
Slow down, okay.
Right? That is the combination. So that's the first thing that happens in strides. We are trying to train fatigue strength of your muscles. And the second thing is, when you're running fast and when you're running slow, the nerves need to give impulses to the muscles.
Yeah.
The neuromuscular connection is what we are trying to train. So when you're beginning to run and then suddenly you decide, okay, stride time, I have to start running fast. Really what is happening is your brain is saying, okay, let me send like lot more electrical impulses to lot more muscles.
Yeah.
That's how you start running fast. That is a training that you need to do for your body, the neuromuscular connections. So when you do up, down, up, down, up, down, you're constantly asking the brain to send more signals, less signals, more signals, less signals, or the connection between nerves and muscles are getting trained. See, the entire idea of running, Arvind, is how do you control muscles and how do you control the nerve muscle activations.
Okay.
If both are controlled, like you remember the single leg stand exercise.
Yeah.
The single leg stand exercise is what? Your muscles are controlled, but you're also allowing the nerves to sort of fire the signals to various parts of the muscle.
Yeah.
That's what you're training. The same thing is strides.
Yeah.
So in summary, guys, when you do strides, you are improving the fatigue strength of your muscles, and two, you are training the nerve muscle connections.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. This is amazing stuff. I mean, one thing I really love about your, the podcast that I've been listening is the science theories that you explain with the analogies and all that. This is like really interesting. It makes it interesting, and also, at least for me, helps me better understanding
Thank you,
the
Arvind.
concept behind everything that I explained. One follow-up question is that I'm trying this low HR training for this season. So how does it work for strides? Like, how should I still stay in the low HR zone, even though I'm trying to go up and down?
Correct. So what you are asking for, the low HR training, is sometimes how do you have a baseline HR and run within that baseline HR.
Yeah.
So a typical low HR training, or let's not call it low HR, let's call it target HR. Okay? Like let's say I don't want to go beyond 130. Whatever is the speed I can get, I'll get it.
Yeah.
That's what it means by a target HR. So the beauty about stride running is that when you do strides in between, it actually reduces your heart rate during CP runs.
Okay.
So when you talk about HR-based training, HR-based training is always for CP runs.
Okay.
HR-based is never for stride.
I see.
So stride is you forcefully get your HR to much higher condition.
Okay.
That's the idea. Hi, much higher condition. Hi, how are you? Much higher condition, right? So that's why you in strides, don't worry about it. Just do with speed.
Okay.
But by doing strides, when you get back to CP, you will have much lower heart rate, and hence you can do HR training.
So in stride, I mean, it's okay to go outside my
Totally, you are
target HR.
supposed to.
Yes.
You're
Okay,
supposed
good.
to. It's not. I'm not even saying okay. That is
Supposed
stride
to,
running. You're
okay.
supposed to do it.
Okay.
So anyway, I hope the conversation was good. I don't want to make it too long. This one first message. So let's come back to the second message and we'll continue the discussion. What do you say?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay. Just switch out there.